I think actually it was to be expected because of the comments by the Fed. More monetary policy stimulus around the world, whether it's in the U.S., Bank of Japan, even ECB, and stocks will go higher because of that stimulus.
Stephen, in terms of the record high close that we got yesterday, near to it today, what do you think's taken us to that level, and what do you need to see to go higher still?
Well, I think the big thing has been the dovish pivot from the Fed, along with the central banks around the world. But you combine that, and what's really pushed us higher is the fact that investors came into this pivot under position, under risk. They'd shifted defensively. They've been selling stocks. They've been buying bonds. And what they've been buying within the equity market has been more defensive parts of the market. In terms of what we need to go higher, I think we can continue to melt up near term, but we're going to start to need to see earnings revisions move higher to make this rally continue.
Sherry, on the topic of the Fed, you're actually expecting a 50 basis point cut.
Yeah, we are. Actually, UBS just shifted our position. We felt that we weren't going to see rate cuts until towards the end of 2020. We just did a pivot and are now looking for a 50 basis point cut potentially at the July meeting. And I would also agree with what you just said in terms of just investor sentiment. I think we want to encourage investors not to allow the fear of a market recession to cause a mental recession that leads to poor decision making in terms of how we approach the political environment that we're all wading through.
How much does that hinge, and I guess that notion that we see the Fed cut next month, hinge on these trade talks in the G20 summit next week?
Our view is it hinges quite a lot, and I think that the Fed has sort of threaded the needle very effectively here in terms of giving themselves enough room to move and enough excuse not to. But I think the G20 is obviously, and specifically conversations with the Chinese president, are going to matter quite a lot.